we just write. I see also Iya Desele Nasale. How are you? You can open your mic for some minutes and then I will close all mics.
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Fine, so thank you.
Hope everyone is doing well.
Yeah, we're all doing
well. Yeah, we are doing okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, I think we are now 20 past 5 in Turkey, 19 past 5 in Germany, and 18 past 5 in Cameroon. So, we will try to be Germans today because today is a special day. We have a German guest, an old Turkish student who was Turkish before, and now he's German. And we adopt the German culture. Time is very important, so the punctuality. And as soon as we started, we will also be ready to finish very, very soon. So let me introduce, and then I will give the floor to Leticia and Beltus, because today I'm just the co-moderator, and I'm sure you will discover the talents of Leticia, who is also well known in the Turkish community. And I will do a small introduction in French for the Francophone speaker who will join to watch this video. So, alors, mesdemoiselles et messieurs, bonsoir et bienvenue à ce énième webinaire. Nous faisons une série de webinaires sur les informations utiles qui peuvent aider les étudiants camerounais ou africains en Turquie à migrer vers des meilleurs horizons avec des bonnes opportunités. Et comme cela a été dit dans les précédents webinaires, nous avons paraphrasé le prophète Osée qui a dit que mon peuple périt faute de connaissance. Et nous avons paraphrasé en disant que notre peuple périt faute d'information. Donc, le but de cette série de webinaires est de vous apporter des informations utiles qui pourront vous aider non seulement à saisir une opportunité qui est présente, mais dont vous avez juste besoin de l'information, mais aussi de courir vers des horizons meilleurs. Et pour ce webinaire, nous avons un invité spécial qui est Monsieur Beltus Nkwawir, qui est un étudiant camerounais, ancien étudiant camerounais en Turquie, et qui a migré vers l'Allemagne directement avec une opportunité de travail comme Research Assistant, et qui va partager avec nous son parcours, ses difficultés, ses challenges, et aussi comment il a fait pour sortir de cet environnement dans lequel vous vous trouvez aujourd'hui en Turquie. Alors, pour ne pas être long, je vais vous présenter Madame Leticia Semé, qu'on ne présente plus d'ailleurs, qui est une très brillante étudiante camerounaise en Turquie et qui a mission aujourd'hui d'interviewer Monsieur Beltus Nkwawir. Donc, ce sera un échange entre Beltus et Leticia, et de temps en temps, je ferai comme le rapporteur de la séance d'échange. L'échange se fait en anglais parce que Beltus est anglophone, mais il parle aussi bien français. Donc, je pense que ceux qui ne sont pas francophones vont souffrir d'écouter le pur anglais aujourd'hui. Allez. Le Cameroun est bilingue? Oui, le Cameroun est bilingue, mais les Camerounais ne sont pas encore bilingues. Ok, donc, je donne la parole, Madame Leticia, pour conduire cet échange. À vous.
Merci beaucoup, Dr Lionel. Bonsoir à tous. Je pense que je vais parler anglais à partir de maintenant. I'm going to present myself again, once more. I'm Leticia Semé. I'm a student in Karabük University in Turkey, and I am super happy to be the moderator of today's conversation. I won't call this a session or interview. I'll call this a conversation with whose aim is to promote growth, information, and awareness about opportunities. So first of all, once more, although Dr. Lionel did that, I want to welcome Mr. Beltus. I want to thank you for being here with us, for giving up your time and offering us an opportunity to get more information and, admire your career from a little closer. Thank you for being here. Now, without waiting, this was the time I was waiting for. We're going to go straight into our questions. My first question is unpopular. Now, if your journey, Mr. Beltus, were a book, let's say your journey were a book, okay? What would be the title of the first chapter of the book? Mr. Beltus Nkwawir? Am I pronouncing it right?
Yeah, you're very close. It's Nkwawir, but I think you tried a little bit. Yeah, but it's a little. I know it's a little bit complicated, but you did give it a good try. So. That's completely fine. Yeah.
So if the title, if you had a book, if you were a book, what would be the title of the first chapter of your book?
So that question, in fact, first of all, let me just give an appreciation to you, Doug, and to Leticia to creating this platform, because I think it's very important that we that have gone ahead be able to kind of have some space where we can, guide young people that were in the position that we previously were in. So thank you very much. And your question, starting from the bat, this is definitely going to be an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Thank you.
If my journey was a book, what would be the first title of the book? I think the only one that came to mind when you asked that question for me is Believe in Yourself.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because I know for sure that no one is kind of coming to save you. No one can motivate you more than you motivate yourself.
Okay.
Because people are already very busy in their own lives, that you might have the illusion or the delusion that they would create an enormous time to come and kind of get you going. The reason I also put believe is because I'm someone who truly, when I look at my journey, sometimes I always say it to all my friends that know me, they understand one thing with me. I always believe that my journey has been one for which has been guided by my faith also in God, because I understood for sure that I am a hard worker. I do put in the work, but there are certain things along your journey that have to come in place and in line for another opportunity to open for you to move. For example, I am not the most hardworking person you would find. I am not the most qualified person in the position that I am in, right? But I am where I am. A factor of that for me is, of course, the work that I've put in, but a greater factor for me is the belief that I have in God. So my title would be Believe in Myself and in God. That's what I really can say about that. Yeah.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
This is a great insight. I'm jotting down though. I'm jotting down for myself. Now, please, I have another question for you.
Yeah, sure.
What first sparked your interest for science and technology? Did it just come like this, or is it passion or something?
Leticia, I like your questions. I don't know where you get them from, but I do like them.
Thank you.
Look, I'm the definition of the students back then. So I will take you a little bit to throw a little bit background on how, and I think your question can be uncoupled at various stages of how I got to where I am, kind of. Right? I see that in it. So what sparked my passion for science and for tech and whatever I'm doing right now is, in secondary school, I was very good in everything. I would say this. I'm not saying it to be to like brag about it.
Yeah.
I was good. I was good in history, and I hated it. I was good in geography, and I hated it. I was equally good in mathematics, and I was good in chemistry, and I was good in all of these things. Of course, I hated geography. I hated history. It didn't make sense, but I had to study it, and I was still good because when I studied, I passed. What drove me to science that made sense for me was I knew already before finishing high school that I didn't want to do anything related to art. Of course, I had already chosen the path of doing S1, which is a combination of chemistry, biology, physics. So I had already chosen that path. It was easy for me. Maths has always been easy. Physics a little bit challenging, but I still was the best in that. So for me, science always came easier, and I kind of enjoyed it, right? When I finished high school, I knew that I didn't want to do anything like medicine. That's the part of science. But I didn't want to go into the medical field. I also didn't want to be a teacher in the sense that I didn't want to go into like ENS and all these kinds of things. So I already knew what I didn't want. Now my question was, what does Cameroon provide to me that would align with what I wanted? And somehow I found engineering to be exciting, which is why I went to the University of Boya to study telecommunications engineering there for 4 years. And from there, everything kind of just evolved to leading to the scholarship and then me here. I think we'll talk more about that. But yeah, I think that's, so I think naturally it evolved in a way because it came easier. So if I'm to summarize it in that way, yeah.
Do you think, this one's a personal question, do you think if you didn't have a certain talent or attraction for that specific field, you would do that?
That's a good one. I think I wouldn't, because okay, context-wise, in Cameroon, and I think for the audience listening right now, there's something I always like people to understand. Your environment is going to affect you more than you think it does affect you. And your environment would guide the decisions and the choices that you make. The opportunities that Cameroon provides to you, you need to understand that context, right? So for example, I knew for sure that if I study history, my chances in Cameroon to do something after I study history is fundamentally zero. So logically speaking, even if history came easy to me, if I was thinking like I'm thinking now retrospectively, I would not go for history, right? So what I could try to do is to say, okay, yes, I might not be good in mathematics, but I could force myself to learn mathematics because, again, I'm a believer in the fact that some people, things come to them easier, but some people can actually study the same thing and take a longer period of time, but they would still understand it, right? So if it didn't come to me easy, it would be tricky, because I could easily choose the path of least resistance, which is go for what is easier, which I did because sciences for me was easy. And I think people also do the same thing for arts. People will choose, I'm not saying that if you study history, you wouldn't make it. No.
Yeah.
Let no one interpret, let no one use my words in it. Yeah. Because again, for me, it's always what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about always creating more opportunities and options for the future. So every decision I make now, because maybe I like this freestyle thing because I'll be diverting and throwing a little bit of more stuff. When I look at the world, for me, I see the world as a like a chessboard. And when you move the players, I don't want to move in a position that will limit my next movement. So every choice I make, I try to ensure that it gives me options so that if anything happens, I can move to another part. So I knew, for example, that if I'm in Cameroon and I study, for example, sorry, people who study history here, it's just the subject that comes to mind. I didn't like history, but I love history now, by the way. So if I studied history in Cameroon, what would happen to me? I knew for sure is that my choices are very limited. If I go to the university and I finish with history, there was one thing I knew. I can either go become a professor in history and teach at the university, or I would finish my bachelor's degree and go to ENS and still be like a history teacher. So everything revolved around you becoming a teacher in Cameroon for history. But I knew that that's not something I wanted. I didn't want to take that path, right? So yeah, I was like, no. So coming back to your question, knowing what I know now, I would not choose the path of least resistance.
Okay. Thank you. That was a great insight, though. Yeah.
That is okay. So I think, Leticia, can you make a break? I will just make you have a break because your questions are very interesting, very objective. And I think we will start with the real beginning. Mr. Beltus, I can do a summary of what you said because Leticia wanted you to present yourself. Who are you really? Where did you came from? From which village, which city, which country did you move? And what took you to Turkey, for example? And why did you choose to do science and not art? And how did you manage to move from Turkey to Germany? Because that are the center of what Leticia has reformulated, because she was asking questions to see how you how you did to migrate from Cameroon to Turkey, from Turkey to Germany, just following your scientific objective. So let us ask simple questions. So first of all, who is Beltus? For the people who will just watch us, who is Beltus? Somebody, for example.
I mean, that's a very simple but also not so simple question. And I would, for my audience, thank you so much.
That is why she told you, if you have to write a book, what will be the title? She wanted to know, who are you? How do you define yourself?
I mean, she said chapter 1. I could write a whole book about my life, but that was only chapter 1. So and just for the audience, I did have written one, but that's the conversation for another day. Anyway, thank you very much. I think that's important to create context and to give some background. So hi everybody, and I really appreciate you joining. So my name is Beltus Nkwawir, and I am currently living in Berlin, Germany, but this is a journey that started long time ago in the village of Nso in Cameroon, where I come from. I finished my secondary and high school in GBHS Kumbu in So is a tribe in the northwest region of Cameroon. If you don't know So, maybe you know Mr. Leo if you're from Cameroon. The artist, he's from that same village like me. And from there, I decided to pursue engineering, which led me to apply to the Faculty of Engineering and Technology in University of Buea in Cameroon. There, I did a 4-year bachelor's degree program. And then immediately after that, I started the master's in the same field, in the same program. But something happened in 2016. A deadly crisis broke out, and my university was at the epicenter of the crisis which still rampages through Northwest and Southwest up till today. That is fundamentally, today we are in 2016, so it's 10 years. One is 10 years from today, and I was on campus, and I remember every event, and that led me to drop from my master's program and go back to my village. I fundamentally ran away with just a backpack. I left everything in Buea and left. Dropped from school, dropped everything and left. I went back to the village, and in the village, no one needs engineers in the village, because in the village, you need to have that strength to be able to go to the farm and carry wood and carry corn from distant places. But here I was in the village with no hope of going back to school, because the crisis was the intensity of the crisis was increasing every single day. Schools were being burnt, and anyways, the crisis, I wouldn't focus on that, but the idea is that that was very frustrating moment for me because I just finished with an engineering degree. I should be an engineer. That's the dream. I should be in a company. I should have a big car. That's what we thought in being an engineer was. But I was living with my parents in their home in the village with no hope. That was 2016, 2017. When I realized that I'm not going to go back to school and the crisis was not going to end anytime soon, I decided to say, okay, it's time for me to leave the country. It's time for me. I knew that my future was too big enough for the crisis to stop who I wanted to become. And so I knew that the only option for me to be able to really expand myself and live the dream that I always had in my mind to become the person that I always wanted, I needed to get out of the country. It was that simple. When I drew that line in my mind, I focused all my energy back in my village looking for scholarships. I called a few friends of mine and I said, hey guys, this is what is happening. We need to get out. And luckily, they were also thinking the same thing. My classmates who had also dropped from school like me. So we went on a hunt. We hunted for scholarships. We left no stone unturned. We looked at every website you can think about. We applied for hundreds of scholarships, got rejections. I had interviews. You send some, you never receive anything. And this is 2017. Then 2018 comes, no scholarship yet. And I'm still in Cameroon. Then I applied for some, and then luckily I applied for the Turkish government scholarship. I get an interview. I leave my village. I travel to Yaoundé. I get the interview. I travel back to my village and just wait. Every interview was zero, was negative. And then one day I was in my room in the evening, it was rainy. I turned on my computer and there it shows me, I looked at my email and there it says, let me get ready for Turkey. I was accepted. So 2018, October 2nd, I left Cameroon, fully funded scholarship. Your flight is paid, everything is covered. And when I left 2018, I landed in Istanbul to study computer science at Istanbul Technical University, which is, again, the oldest technical university in Turkey. And again, it is like the MIT of Turkey. So I was very privileged and lucky to be in that university. And so from 2018, I went back to my master's program. 2018 to 2019, we studied the Turkish language, which is part of the Turkish government scholarship. Then I started my master's program and successfully finished that in early 2022. And as I was finishing, luckily I also got, I don't want to go into what happened in those years, but just a quick summary. As I finished my master's, I also got the opportunity to work for the United Nations Development Program in Istanbul in their AI lab. And immediately I also enrolled for a PhD program. So as I was finishing, I immediately got into a PhD program. And while I was doing my PhD program, I was working for the United Nations in Istanbul. And when I finished that 1-year contract in 2024, I was basically going over LinkedIn and I saw an opportunity. And I saw this job advert, which was for Germany, Berlin. And I was like, I meet the criteria, why not give it a shot? That was January 2024. I did apply. Few weeks later, I get a message saying that my CV looks nice and they would like to give me a project. I did the project. They said they would like to give me an interview. I did the interview, explained the project, answered their questions. 2 weeks later, they said I got the job in Berlin. And before I knew it, between the time I got the response, that was late, I think early February, and the time I moved to Berlin, I basically arrived Berlin that was April. So in the space of 2 to 3 months, I did an interview and I was already in Berlin. Everything was paid for, my flight covered. And that's how I found myself as a data scientist in Robert Koch Institute. And Robert Koch Institute just to give you a perspective, is the federal government of Germany's public health institute. So they are the ones that are responsible for monitoring all pandemics and epidemics or anything related to public health for the German Ministry of Health, informing them and the public of safety measures and what they can do to mitigate any effects in terms of public health for Germany. So that is so far since 2024. I was working in another unit, and currently I am working in the Center for Artificial Intelligence in Public Health Research, where we are really only focused on how to build up AI applications that are useful for public health research. So I am currently developing those applications, and I'm with the team of one of the brightest people, people or researchers and scientists here for public health in AI in Germany. So that is a brief summary of who I am and what I'm doing so far.
Yes.
This
Now we can start. I give the floor to Leticia because that is what she wanted to ask you. When she said,
Yeah.
if you have to write a book, what will be the title? Now
Oh
we
my
can go
God.
inside the book. Leticia,
Yeah.
I give you the floor.
Please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lionel. And thank you, Mr. Beltus, for the insights. This was definitely a nice one. And it's inspiring, honestly. But I have a question to ask.
Yes.
Do you think your past experiences, what you've gone through in Cameroon and everything, was a kind of gateway to who you became today? Do you think it was like preparing you for something, or what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, that's an amazing question, Leticia. And I always retrospectively think about it. I always make this joke with my friends that if there was no crisis, I wouldn't become who I have become. Mind you, many lives have been lost, but I say this with utmost respect for everything that's going on. But that was the catalyst that allowed me, that pushed me to look for opportunities out of Cameroon and really forced me to get out of myself and to wake up to. It was like the wake-up call. So that event, as tragic as it is actually the reason, of course, combined with also the fact that I believe God had a plan in all of it, but that was like the catalyst that needed to give me the wake-up call to get up and apply. Somehow I believe that if there was no crisis, I would have been complacent and continued with my master's program in Boya, and then maybe find a secondary school maybe to teach like physics or something like that, or mathematics. And I think I'll maybe. So yes, absolutely. I do think that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I retain from this is, no matter where you found, no matter what you're going through, there's always a bigger plan. And you need to believe in you and believe in God. That's what I retain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take action.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just to even add to that, I feel, and what I've seen so far is, I believe that there's always opportunity in times of chaos. Most people get wrapped up in chaos that they lose sight of opportunity. Another example I'll quickly give to you is COVID-19. Again, I would say this. COVID-19 is the best years of my life. Sorry, it was the most depressing for most people, but COVID-19 for me was the transformative time of my entire life. And I had the most amazing transformation in my life and achievements in my life during COVID. But that was the most terrible period for most people. And I understand people lost their lives, people lost loved ones, people were depressed, gained weight. So many bad things happened. That's really terrible. But somehow, I don't know why I do that, but I kind of feel that I have this instinct to take opportunity, to really try to find opportunity in chaotic moments. And it's always turned out to be really good for me in a way. I don't know how this might sound for the audience, but it has always worked like that.
I think it's understandable, because there's a saying that behind every difficulty, adversity, there is a hidden opportunity.
Absolutely. And if you look for it, you're gonna see it.
Yes.
If you look for it, you're going to see it. It's the same. Again, it's happening now. It's happening with AI too. Right now, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Chaos.
But I have another question, more based on students.
Yeah.
Let's just imagine there's one student that just graduated from a university. It can be Turkish or anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And please, I would like you, if possible, to give 5 or more practical steps or recommend practical steps to a student who wants to follow the same path, just like you did, or try to have a path just similar to yours, not without adversity, but at least become something, or transform a kind of negative, how can I call it, negative event into an opportunity? Because being a student is harsh, but most of us graduate and we're like, what next? What are we doing next? What's going on? And I would like, if possible, to get some steps, practical ones, that you could recommend to students, especially graduates, who want to follow a path similar to yours. Yeah.
I would begin by
there,
saying,
Mr. Bell?
Yeah, he's thinking.
So, the reason I'm thinking is because there are multiple ways I want to frame the response. There's one way that comes in my mind, which is a little bit, it might sound cynical, but not, which is, I would say it, but that's not what I wanted to say. So, my path would always be my path. And my path would never be, you might never be able to replicate my path. Yes. And I don't want you to.
Yeah.
Test. So I just want to get that out of the way. Like, what are the things that I believe that kind of allowed me? So the first context I would like to say is that it is really, I think I was speaking with a few friends, and I really empathize with new graduates in this generation. It is hard. Let no one tell you that you're not doing your best. I know that the market is hard. The economy is hard. Things are changing. So new graduates, you are graduating now, it's a little bit not so comfortable. It's very chaotic. Getting a job is not easy. It's not easy even in Germany right now. It is absolutely not easy. So if you're out here as a student and you've graduated and you think that you're sending applications and you're not getting any interviews or anything else, please take it a little bit easy on yourself. It is not right now, currently it's not easy. So first of all, just take that weight off yourself. Now, what can you do in these kinds of periods that there is chaos? For me, it's always about, you should be able to continuously take action. So put yourself in a position that when the opportunity shows up, you would be ready. I would be very practical with this because you asked about practical steps. First, your CV should always be up to date. And when I say your CV should be up to date, I mean, go learn how to write a very good CV. Really spend time to learn how to really write a good CV. In fact, ask some people to review your CV and give you feedback on your CV. Because it's absolutely mind-blowing to me when people have spent years studying and they cannot spend 1 week to craft the best CV that they want to craft, when that CV is fundamentally the key to opening the door to your future. So if you're a young graduate, first of all, get your CV right. Now, the second thing I want you to understand is that the competition is real, right? And again, I would be specific for us that are immigrants or students, foreign students in foreign countries. I'm saying it specifically to you. Understand that you need to even do more than the nationals in that country. I would take the example of Turkey. I know Turkey. I stayed in Turkey for 5 years. By the way, I'm still a student in Istanbul Technical University. I fly from Berlin to Istanbul when I'm needed and I come back. So I'm still a student fundamentally, right? But I go there once or twice a year, then I come back here. So the idea is this: understand the environment that you are in, understand the system that you are in. So, for example, if you look at Turkey, you need to understand that Turkey, for example, currently is going to train you. It's going to give you the best university. It's going to give you the knowledge. It's going to give you the skills. But Turkish system currently is not built to really integrate you into the positions that represent the skills for which they have given you. I don't know if this really makes sense. Like if we are being real, you would understand that you would find graduates in Turkey with very good certificates, and all we can do as international students in Turkey is to go and teach like language, right, to survive. And I understand, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just saying that that's how you, that the systems are built, some systems are built to keep you where you are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to first of all understand the system that you live in so that you can be able to say, okay, this is the reality of the system that I live in, but what can I do? The point I was saying is you need to do more than the nationals are doing, because as I made the example of Turkey, the country would favor its citizens somehow. The system would favor its citizens before you. So how do you stand out? I'm going to give you practical steps of what you can do to elevate yourself beyond your classmates, or beyond, to put yourself out there in the market, because fundamentally you're in the market, you're selling yourself. Yeah, you are selling yourself. The market is already tough. So what do? I already mentioned, get your CV really right. Now, when you are still a student, I really want to advise this. If you have not yet graduated yet, do not only focus on the courses that you are taking and then you become very complacent. Because if you only focus on the courses that you are taking in your program, you are only going to graduate with the 100 students would graduate with the same certificate like you and the same courses. Do something else practically. There are online platforms like Coursera. I'm saying this from my experience. Coursera that offers almost free courses for you to take and get certificates on any other skill that you might want. You might want to add a little bit of programming. If you are doing environmental science, you can add a Python programming. That is a huge advantage because your classmates are not going to be doing this. The people that you are going to, because understand this, the people you are going to graduate with will be the people that you'll be competing with in the job market. They are not any different. So you always have to find a way to do more than everyone else is doing. One way, as I said, is to get additional skills that you can attach to what you're doing. I did this. I have taken more than 15 Coursera courses, and I keep taking them up till now, by the way. Even while in Berlin, I take them all the time. In fact, since I can afford it now, I pay for them, and I have access to them. And I can take them anytime. It's so good. If you do that, you set yourself up to differentiate yourself in the market. Another thing that came to mind, I would say, is another way that I think everyone can differentiate themselves is to have a personal website or a personal blog where you just share what you do. It's free, and I'm going to tell you how to do it free. Anyone who knows the platform called GitHub. In GitHub, you can create a website for free and host it for free. You don't need any money. You don't need anything. You can go online and ask, how do I create a GitHub pages website? And you would figure it out. Just create a little space. If you type, since Lionel, you're on the website now, if you type beltusnkwawir.com, I have a personal website for myself, right? And why do I do that? I do that because people are going to be looking at my digital footprints before they employ me. I'll give you a practical example. Before I got my job in Berlin, after my interview, I went to LinkedIn. And the person that interviewed me, I saw that they had checked my profile 1 hour after my interview. I saw the name. They had checked it. So they went to check me. But if you go to LinkedIn, it will bring you to my website, and you're going to check and you're going to say, oh, I'm doing something different, right? So I feel that if you are a student or you are a graduate, just have a space. Share what you don't need to. I share anything here. I share personal development things, AI things, what I'm just writing on. But that is a practical thing anyone can do. You don't need. COVID cannot stop you from this. AI cannot even stop you from this. In fact, AI would help you to create such a website, right? So another practical thing, I think the last one that I'll drop. There are so many, but I think the last one I'll drop is that. Go to every student or every graduate should be very active on LinkedIn. You should spend time to really create a good LinkedIn profile for yourself. And then you should follow the people that you think are in the profession that you want to be. Who are the best people or the organizations and institutes that are doing the things that you want? if you know a person, for example, I am currently doing research in data centers, and also I'm in public health. I would follow people, public health in AI in public health. So I'm going to follow people who are in that space, who are having these discussions about what is happening. The reason I'm doing that is because I would follow them so that I can have an idea of where things are going. So that I can be able to position myself well and understand what's happening. So these are a few. I can keep going, Leticia, but maybe you have more questions before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me cut it there. But I hope that would be helpful for yeah, I think it would be helpful.
For the audience.
I have a kind of, excuse me, Dr. Leona, but I have a backup question.
Yeah, please.
I think it can help everybody. Recently, one thing I've discovered is that I call that digital goodwill. It's my own personal name I gave to that.
Oh, that's nice.
Digital goodwill. I say that because I discovered, I'll turn it into a question to you. Do you think the fact that you were kind of present digitally contributed to you getting opportunities?
I believe. Okay, that's a very good. First of all, yes. I'm just going to go out straight and say yes. The reason I'm just saying yes straight and a little bit hesitant is because I'm not in the minds of the person that is giving me the opportunity.
Yeah.
But I'm simply ensuring that when that person decides to use my digital footprint to differentiate me between. So what you're looking for is the differentiating factor. Everyone has a bachelor's degree. Everyone applying for that job has a master's degree. Everyone, by the way, has already met the criteria for which the job opportunity was created for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like if I create it and I say these are the this is what I want. Most people that apply already meet the criteria, but they need one person. So the guy who has interviewed you already have, let's say, 5 candidates. If you are the interviewer, because you have to think like the interviewer. If you're the interviewer, you are like, okay, these guys are all good, but what can I use as a differentiating factor? Now, very much people just like to Google you. Why? Because first, the reputation of the institute or the organization that they are hiring you in is also embedded in how the employees behave and what they say. Because if you notice, everything has become very political in the sense that if an employee of a company says something outrageous, it has a backlash on the company.
Yes.
So
Right.
someone will always do a background check, but I want to make sure that by the time you are doing that background check, all you see is what I want you to see, which is what I have written and clearly outlined. And so if you see that and it works, perfect. If it doesn't work, another person would see it. The good thing is that the internet lives forever. There are things on my site you would see I wrote when I was in Turkey 2019. There are things there. There are still articles there I wrote a long time ago. I haven't written some. My children are going to read this if the internet doesn't go, if some nuclear bomb doesn't kill all of us, right? They would find it. It's not going anywhere, for example. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Dr. Leona wanted to say something. I'm going to give you the floor.
So, thank you for the short break, because I wanted to make a short break and try to give some words to the Francophone audience. We have a bilingual audience, and there are people who are just French speakers and they don't understand any English, and I'm sorry for them. Aujourd'hui, nous avons un invité anglophone qui est Monsieur Beltus Nkwawir et qui nous délivre vraiment des informations très utiles pour la communauté estudiantine camerounaise en Turquie. Déjà, avec la très prestigieuse présentatrice Laetitia Semé, nous avons reçu déjà beaucoup d'informations sur le parcours académique de M. Beltus, dont je vais faire un petit résumé. Il est né à Banso. Ce village me passionne parce que j'ai regardé sur Google, vous pouvez voir, Banso, c'est un village du nord-ouest ou bien du sud-ouest Cameroun.
Nord-ouest.
C'est le nord-ouest Cameroun, voilà. et qui est un village très traditionnel. Voilà là où il est né, vous pouvez voir les images. Très culturel aussi. Et c'est le village d'où viennent les chanteurs comme Mr. Léo et d'autres chanteurs qui ont même fait la musique sur la culture banso. Et à partir de là, les personnes qui viennent de ce village ou de cette région sont très culturelles, très ancrées dans la culture. Et c'est pourquoi vous pouvez remarquer l'habillement de monsieur Beltus aujourd'hui avec les couleurs traditionnelles de Banso ou bien de son origine. Donc, c'est vraiment remarquable. Vous allez toujours voir ça chez les gens du peuple Banso. Et il a fait ses études primaires dans son village. Il a également fait son secondaire non loin du village, mais il a eu à passer son GC Advanced Level. Il s'est intéressé pour les sciences, notamment la physique et les mathématiques. Donc, il a fait le Upper Six, le Lower Six et Upper Six Science, et il s'est orienté typiquement vers les technologies. Il aurait pu faire la médecine ou autre chose, mais lui, il a choisi de faire dans les technologies et il voulait être ingénieur. C'est pourquoi il a fait l'université de Buea et il était basé à Kumbo, c'est ça, si je ne me trompe pas. Et il était aussi en plein cœur des événements de la crise du Nozo, dans la crise de séparation de l'Amazonie. Bon, et ils ont fermé leur université. Il a dû quitter l'université pour retourner dans son village en 2017, 2016, 2017 et même 2018. Pendant les 3 années, il postulait pour des bourses, essayait de sortir du pays afin d'atteindre son objectif de devenir un ingénieur. Après 1000 refus, parce qu'il a vraiment postulé à plusieurs bourses, il a eu la chance d'avoir postulé pour la bourse du gouvernement de Turquie, qui l'a invité pour une interview à Yaoundé. Il est allé à Yaoundé passer l'interview et il a été sélectionné pour aller faire ses études en Turquie. Une bourse qui a couvert totalement sa prise en charge. Il a voyagé du Cameroun pour Istanbul. Il a fait l'université d'Istanbul et c'est là-bas qu'il a développé son talent dans les intelligences artificielles. Bon, je n'ai pas bien compris, mais je pense que c'est ce qu'il a fait. Et étant à l'université à Istanbul, il cherchait toujours les opportunités pour s'améliorer. Donc, il ne se focalisait pas seulement sur ses études, mais il faisait également autre chose comme s'auto-former avec les sites web comme Coursera où il y a des tonnes de formations gratuites et qui sont disponibles pour les étudiants, que vous aussi, vous pouvez visiter pour apprendre des nouvelles compétences et de nouveaux talents en dehors de ce qu'on vous donne à l'école. Et il a constaté qu'en Turquie, il y a des limites parce que quand il se projetait, vous voyez, c'est un visionnaire, pendant qu'il fait ses études, il se projette à l'avenir. Qu'est-ce que je vais faire après mon master? Et il voyait qu'en Turquie, il y avait des limites. Les boulots ou les métiers qui étaient offerts aux étrangers étaient limitants, soit aller dans l'enseignement, soit aller dans le tourisme, soit faire des affaires. Et lui, il voulait poursuivre ses études. Donc, il a cherché des opportunités, bien qu'étant étudiant à Istanbul, et il a postulé pour un boulot auprès de l'Institut Robert Koch en Allemagne, étant en Turquie. Donc, il n'est pas venu en Allemagne avant de postuler, il a postulé étant encore en Turquie. Il a fini son master à l'Université d'Istanbul. Il a travaillé pour les Nations Unies, un programme des Nations Unies où il était dans un projet de recherche. Et l'Institut Robert Koch lui a également donné un projet sur lequel il pouvait travailler à partir de son expérience de, je ne sais pas si c'était un volontariat pour les Nations Unies, en fait, il va peut-être expliquer. Il a eu cette expérience avec les Nations Unies qui lui a ouvert les portes avec expérience internationale pour le projet pour lequel il a travaillé à l'Institut Robert Koch. Et à partir de ça, il a postulé comme chercheur associé dans Recherche Assistant. C'est un assistant de recherche pour un projet particulier sur le développement de l'intelligence artificielle appliquée à la santé. Et il a été sélectionné directement pour travailler comme chercheur assistant à l'Institut Robert Koch. Donc, voilà son parcours académique qui est vraiment très intéressant. Laetitia a demandé s'il devait écrire un livre, quel pourrait être le titre. Je pense que le titre serait davantage alléchant à partir du moment où vous voyez son parcours très brillant les challenges, il les a présentés également en anglais, s'en sortir en Turquie, trouver des voies et moyens pour se développer. Il a créé même des affaires, je pense qu'il va en parler, et surtout sur son background culturel, qui est Banso, je pense qu'il a créé une marque de vêtements que je connais très bien, dont il va également en parler, et ce serait intéressant de savoir ça. C'est des facteurs de motivation parce que Laetitia s'est intéressée beaucoup à la motivation. Qu'est-ce qu'il dirait à un étudiant s'il fallait définir un mot pour les motiver davantage? Il a dit il faut pas abandonner, il faut poursuivre ses rêves, il faut être rêveur et surtout oser. Voilà. Et il faut oser, il faut postuler, n'ayez pas peur, ne vous limitez pas à ce que vous voyez, mais projetez-vous à ce que vous voulez être demain. Donc, je pense que ce sont des mots très intéressants et c'était pour faire un résumé en français de ce qui a été dit jusqu'ici. Et je pense qu'il y a plein de choses qui vont se dire davantage. Je repasse la parole à Laetitia pour continuer avec les jeux. Et merci.
Merci beaucoup, Dr Lionel. Je pense que j'aimerais rajouter quelque chose à ce que vous avez dit. Vous avez vraiment bien résumé ce qu'il avait dit, mais j'aimerais rajouter un petit truc. Il a aussi insisté sur l'importance d'une présence digitale. Je pense qu'il a dit qu'il est très important d'avoir un excellent CV digital, de peaufiner votre compte LinkedIn et surtout de vous ouvrir aux opportunités. Mettez-vous dans la tête que ce sont des gens qui vont vouloir vous recruter, qui vont lire votre CV digital. Donc, faites attention, peaufinez-le très bien et surtout, mettez-vous dans une position où quand les opportunités viendront, vous pourrez les saisir. Et je pense qu'il a aussi parlé d'un site où vous pourriez, documenter vos activités en tant qu'étudiant. Vous n'avez pas besoin d'être trop précis ni trop... Vous dites absolument tout ce que vous voulez dire. Je pense aussi que c'est très important. Ça s'appelait, si je me rappelle, je l'ai noté, GitHub, je crois. Et c'est, je pense, une belle idée. Étant donné qu'il nous l'a proposé, je pense que c'est quelque chose qui lui a servi à beaucoup de choses. Donc, je pense que nous devrions aussi essayer de voir ce côté-là. C'était juste pour rajouter une petite partie d'un résumé, de votre résumé.
Super, c'est très bien.
Là, je vais continuer en anglais, je pense. Okay, now here is, I think this is the question people want to ask. So let me go straight to it. Definitely, you've made mistakes, right? you've made mistakes. Throughout the way, your life is not just success. I guess you've made mistakes. And we all do because we're human, right? But what are the mistakes you've made that you wish you hadn't done or would have avoided you from wasting your time, your money, or your energy?
That's a big one.
Yes.
Oh. Leticia, in a way, it would. I don't want it to sound a little bit like I didn't make mistakes. Here is there's a model for which I look at life. By the way, does Dr. Fosso know that whatever he's searching is being seen is being shared as well? I hope he knows, by the way.
I know.
Okay. I just wanted to notify that. Okay, it's cool. Yeah. So Leticia, I think I have a way in which I model the world and the lens through which I see the world in. And the very big decisions that have shaped my life, I never look back and I say they were mistakes. Interestingly enough, most of the big decisions that I do take are the ones that, for example, when I position myself and then the opportunity opens up, I know instinctively that that's what I'm I'm supposed to really like do, or that's the path I'm supposed to take.
Mm-hmm.
When you asked about mistakes, I started to search for mistakes, because that's wrong, because I can't even find it. That's why I'm searching. That's why I had to take some time to think. Here's the reason, right? Here's the reason. I live life forward in the sense that when the opportunity presents itself and how it presents itself, I take it, right? I would walk you through the big changes in my life. There have been few of them. The scholarship from Cameroon to Turkey, that's a big one.
Yes.
Right. When the opportunity came out, I didn't think about it. You don't look back. You take it, you move. When I got the opportunity for the UN, I took it, I moved. When I got the opportunity to come to Germany, somebody I knew, a professor I knew, was very upset that I was leaving Turkey to a position in the best public health institute in Germany, for example. But I knew that is what I'm supposed to do, because when the door opens up, it opens up and you take it immediately. And I don't regret, when I look back, I would be honest with you, I don't regret it.
Yeah.
So I feel like the way I model life eliminates that kind of regret.
Yes.
So for me is, you cannot control everything in life,
mm-hmm.
but when the opportunity presents itself, jump at it, take it and move, and always move forward. When you look back, it would make sense even. So that's how I see it. I can't really point out mistakes. There might be small mistakes in my life that are inconsequential, but the big ones are not. I don't think I've made them so far.
Well, we consider it experiences rather than mistakes.
Yeah, I absolutely also look at it like that.
Yes.
So when you say mistake, then you start to regret them. You start to you start to feel, oh, I shouldn't have done this. Man, get over yourself and move forward in that way, right? Like you just need to keep moving forward. But people do make mistakes in that sense.
Yeah.
I hope I don't.
We hope we don't. So I have another one. This one, I guess, can help students and can help me. I think you've taken a look at the skills that the market is demanding right now, especially when we talk about students. I think you have a kind of general view of it. So what would you advise a student graduating or preparing for graduation to emphasize on in terms of skills? Because there are definitely skills out there that the market demands, and they keep changing, they keep evolving. But how do we adapt to that? And what do you advise us to learn in order to distinguish ourselves in the market? Because we're selling ourselves, right? So,
you are good. You are very good.
Thank you.
I would say that in my lifetime, there's never been a period of uncertainty in the workforce like I am experiencing right now. I had said it before.
Yeah.
So much is happening, especially with AI coming into the picture, with companies cutting people's jobs. And when I look at young graduates, like I mentioned before, that are about to get into the job market that is already brutal. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. But again, as I said, you have to do something. You have to try a way. You have to try to do something. And for me, the number one skill that I've really thought about this, because I'm in the field of AI. Most people might feel that I am the person that would only preach about how good AI is. AI is going to save the world. AI is going to save public health. AI is going to... I am a big critic of AI as well. And my concept of that comes from what I believe it's doing when it comes to critical thinking. So my advice to which, if you want me to elaborate a little bit on that, is I believe that for the younger generation, AI is reducing their ability to sit down and think critically about a problem and solve it by themselves. because their brain is going to take them on the path of least resistance. Why should I spend 30 minutes trying to solve this problem when I just have ChatGPT here to do it? But what they don't understand is that when you sit down to solve a problem, I would digress a little bit. What happens in your brain is that you're forming connections in your brain that would make it easy for you to solve even more complex problems in the future. And that's how you grow. But now we don't have that ability. And I believe we are losing that ability because we spend much time giving AI our thinking. We are basically outsourcing our thinking to AI. Okay. So for me, if anyone who would like to stay relevant, in my opinion, is be a very, very fast learner. Be ready to not only learn, but unlearn, and do it very fast. So your ability to learn and unlearn should be really quick. What I mean very quick is, in the past, they used to say that specialize on one thing and you're set. It used to be the framework. Even till now, they still say you should specialize. The world has changed. That game, that boat has flown.
It doesn't work.
Before you wake up tomorrow, there'll be something new. It can be frustrating. It can be overwhelming. But I believe that anybody who develops the ability to learn things fast, apply them, and then be ready to let go of that thing in 1 or 2 months and jump onto the next thing and adapt quickly, I think they would have an advantage. But how do you develop the mind to learn quickly and unlearn quickly? It's not by depending on the AI themselves, by instead being someone who is able to sit down and read a book.
Yeah.
Do the learning traditionally like we used to do. But that's also very difficult because it requires a lot of discipline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you would think that you're slow, but you're not. So to summarize, I would say, if you are a young person right now, don't get frustrated that there are lots of things to learn. Get comfortable with learning stuff quickly and unlearning quickly. The reason is because your brain is still young, by the way.
Yeah.
So for me now, it's a little bit slow, which is okay. It's age. But for very young graduates, it's easy for you to just develop that habit of learning quickly and then make lots of mistakes, experiment quickly. That's the advantage of still being young and just starting your career. Try new things and really try them quickly. Do that. And I think one last thing I would say is that if you have a way of maintaining your critical thinking skills, please guard that so well, because I believe that's still going to be an asset. In the age of accelerated development of artificial intelligence, I feel that people who maintain their sense of objectivity in thinking and analyzing things would be very valuable. It doesn't matter the environment. I'm saying this for a general public. I'm not saying it for a scientist or a historian or anything. Just the ability to look at things and say that this is why I don't choose this one. This is why we should do this. This is this. Analyze things. That ability, if you can retain it, I feel that it would be something that you can keep throughout the entire, no matter what changes, you would still have that base and that foundation. That's what I can say with respect to that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I have a backup question for that.
Yeah, please. Yeah, sure.
We spoke about specialization and the fact that we've always been told specialize in this and just build your career according to this. But now the world is changing. You can do everything at once. You can learn this and that. Whether you like literature, you can learn about Python, you can do this and that. But I have a question about this. What if I don't want to specialize? I don't want to specialize and I want to learn new skills because I want to be different. I want to stand out as a student. What is the one skill that can guarantee me a standout place in the market? Is that one skill that I absolutely need to learn in order to guarantee my place in the market as a graduate? No matter my specialization.
You've already said it. Anyone who loves to learn new stuff and try new stuff is already a hobby. Do you know how many people don't even want to learn new stuff and try new stuff, especially old people like us? It's not easy to learn new stuff and try new stuff. So first of all, developing the habit of trying to learn. Look, I'll give you a perspective. I'm also someone, I'm of the same mentality of always, I'm not a fan of specialization. It might sound a little bit funny. Let me tell you how I'm not a fan of specialization. I'm currently doing my PhD in data centers to optimize energy in data centers. I'm currently working in Germany on artificial intelligence in public health. These two things don't meet at any point in time.
Definitely.
All right? They don't meet. And the books I love to read books on history, psychology, biographies. I love music. I do lots of different things because it's the way my brain is wired.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get very stimulated when I learn new things, when I try new things. If I specialize only on a single thing, by the way, there are benefits to specialization also. Let's not forget that. Yeah. But if you understand how your brain is wired, it might not even feel right for you.
Yeah.
So if you're someone who would like not to specialize,
mm-hmm.
Of course, the market is changing. Specialization is also risky now. AI claims to be the next doctors, the next journalists, whatever. We don't even know what AI is going to be in the next future. It is that scary. In fact, let me tell you something that even scared me most. The godfather of AI, they call him Geoffrey Hinton or Hilton, something like this. He said that he was asked the question, what is the one skill you can teach your kids now if you were to go back and teach your kids? And he responded that I'll ask them to go learn, I'll advise them to go learn plumbing. Plumbing is connecting tubes in houses, if you understand what that is. Mm-hmm. That's like the godfather of AI saying that he's going to ask his kids to go learn how to do things manually with their hands. That's what he meant, right? So there's no one skill. The only skill that I'm going to advise you is just have that ability to learn quickly. Yeah. Don't get frustrated by the learning curve. The person that is going to, I think the people that are going to outlast the market would be people that can be able to learn very fast and apply very fast. And it's a skill, by the way. I'm saying this because I know it's a skill. It's a skill to be able to learn quickly. And if you are in the AI field, you would understand how fast this is. I'm in the AI field and frameworks get deployed almost every day. Just to give you a concrete example, when I got in, I was given a project to provide a demo for that AI application in 1 month. I did the demo 1 month, they presented it to the stakeholders. Mm-hmm. When they approved the project, they came back and said, okay, now go and develop the whole thing. But developing the whole thing now needs me to learn a completely different framework. Mm-hmm. And I have to go learn that framework to do what I have to do. If you cannot learn quickly and apply quickly, you're gone. So the skill to learn and unlearn for me is, I think, one thing that you should really keep. And interestingly, please, I'll give you one advice someone gave me, an uncle of mine gave me. He said, always document what you learn.
Right.
Document what you learn. That's why I even have the website. And right. I have on Medium, when I'm learning, I'm keeping things on documents because I can create a blog post about my learning. I can share that, which keeps some record. And anyways, but that's actually I've had this for more than 10 years and I still use it. So always document what you're learning.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea too. I heard about Medium. Yeah. I use it, by the way. Medium, and I think it's the second one. We got the first one. Now we get a second one, Medium. And I think the greatest thinkers always document what their journey, because it becomes I think it becomes like an asset.
The interesting thing is that information, you never know when you would need it. You never know how you need it. So again, it's just you not knowing what the future is, because just to say this, the future has always been uncertain, and the future would continue to be uncertain, whether AI or not. Most people now are even more scared of the future, and they say AI is making me to be uncertain about the future. You didn't know the future before AI. AI has just made it more apparent that the future is uncertain, but you were pretending that it was not uncertain.
Yeah.
But it's always been uncertain.
And it is uncertain.
Yes, it's always going to be uncertain. So what do you do to face that is the question. Yeah.
No.
So I think Laetitia, you have a lot of questions for Beltus.
Definitely.
You did.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. But I think we do a short break again. We are, the webinar normally is programmed for 1 hour, and we have a francophone audience. I'm just trying to give some points because there are some people who will say, "Oh, these people they just speak English, I don't understand," and so on. So, what you are saying is very, very interesting and very important for the people who are on the way to follow your path. And the advices that you are giving are very important for the Francophone community, because reading, not only in your domain, but in every domain that can help you to enlarge your knowledge, your general knowledge, is very important. And also, there are people who would like to follow your path, to know more about the Robert Koch Institute. How you do to get there, you have already said it. How they do to follow your path to come to Robert Koch Institute. Donc, je vais dire ça en français. Il y a beaucoup de conseils très importants que M. Beltus a donnés pour la communauté estudiantine en Turquie, notamment en ce qui concerne la culture de la lecture, la recherche de la connaissance, pas seulement dans le domaine où vous apprenez, où vous êtes formé, mais dans un vaste, dans un monde où les compétences sont mises en avant par rapport au diplôme, et surtout sur un marché où l'emploi est de plus en plus rare. Le marché de l'emploi est très compétitif. Donc, c'est ceux qui ont des potentialités ou des capacités supérieures à ceux qui vont candidater, qui seront retenus. Et dans un contexte où nous sommes des étrangers dans le monde où nous sommes actuellement, que ce soit en Turquie ou que ce soit en Allemagne, on donnerait plus de valeur à l'étranger qui a plus de compétences que le local. Donc, ils prennent d'abord ceux qui sont dans leur pays avant de voir qui sont les étrangers. Et Monsieur Beltus, j'aimerais que vous partagiez un peu les tips, dans les conseils pratiques pour ceux qui aimeraient, par exemple, venir comme vous dans une institut de recherche comme la Robert Koch Institute. Il y en a beaucoup qui finissent leur licence, il y en a beaucoup qui vont faire leur master et qui sont en train de finir. Donc, peut-être les conseils pratiques que tu vas donner, c'est vrai que tu as même déjà donné ces conseils en anglais, à travers un bon CV, à travers la recherche d'informations, par exemple, quand est-ce que les périodes de candidature sont ouvertes, qu'est-ce qu'il faut pour attirer l'attention d'un recruteur. Ou bien, bon, tu as dit qu'il faut penser comme le recruteur. Ça, c'est vraiment très spirituel. C'est-à-dire, quelqu'un candidate, mais il se met à la place de celui qui va l'interviewer pour savoir un peu comment il peut répondre aux questions. C'est vraiment une stratégie qu'il faut déjà bien enseigner. J'aimerais que tu donnes encore quelques détails là-dessus. Et en dehors de l'Institut Robert Koch, est-ce qu'il y en a d'autres opportunités que tu connais, que les étudiants peuvent saisir parce que tu as vraiment eu un parcours, tu as postulé à beaucoup, donc que ce soit pour les Nations Unies, étant en Turquie par exemple, comment quelqu'un fait pour travailler pour les Nations Unies étant en Turquie? Est-ce qu'il y a des projets où des étudiants de licence ou de master peuvent candidater et obtenir par exemple une opportunité d'avoir une expérience internationale étant en Turquie qui va leur ouvrir des portes vers d'autres horizons comme toi. Donc voilà, je faisais juste une pause pour que Laetitia se repose un peu et avant d'enchaîner avec la dernière des questions. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Dr. Lionel. Merci beaucoup, Dr. Lionel. I think I'm going to switch directly to English right now. So I had the question, but the question has been answered. So I'll switch to the next question. This one is different as usual. So now I want you to go a little backwards. If you had to break everything, it means if you had to rebuild your career, your whole career from afresh. This question is precisely because we want a roadmap. And I think the answer to the question is going to give us the roadmap. So I just want to make it fun. If you had to rebuild your career from afresh, I mean afresh in 6 months, what would you do?
So to understand clearly is if I want to switch to a completely new career from where I am right now in 6 months.
Yes. What would you do?
Right. Good one. And you want it to be very practical. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to really make it very practical. And the first thing that comes to mind is there's this concept in AI called transfer learning, where it simply reflects the fact that what you've learned in a different domain somehow can be applied to a completely different domain. So if I want to build my career in something else from where I am standing right now, the first thing I'm going to analyze is there anything that I know so far from where I am that I can leverage in that domain? The reason is because I know that when you come as an outsider into a new domain, you have fresh eyes and fresh ways of seeing things. So you can always leverage the knowledge that you have. So let's make it a little bit very practical here. Let's say I'm coming from the AI background, and just give me a field that you think I might want to branch into. And what I'll do, let's make it very practical. Something.
AI is linked to computer science too. Let's say.
So just give me something ridiculous, something different.
Finances.
Okay. So I'm in AI. So the very first thing I'm thinking about is, how does my knowledge in AI, is there a way that my knowledge that I have in the AI can help to solve a problem in the domain of finance or in the financial domain that is basically different or new from what already exists in that domain? And basically that's what is even happening now, where AI is basically going into all the fields and providing new solutions to doing things that were usually done the traditional way. So if I'm to start from here to build a new career, the first thing to do it in 6 months, that's a very short time, by the way. So you have to be very strategic. So you have to first of all look at where you are, what skills do you have, and what skills do you have that can be transferred to the new domain. When you know that you have those skills, the next thing you have to do is you have to research what that domain does. So finance, what does finance do? Maybe you are in the domain where they try to predict, I don't know, how the market is going to move up or down in the next future, in the next 1 day, 2 days, or 1 week. So you already know that. But of course, you do not understand the finance background yet. That's what you lack. So you have to find a way to learn that. If I want to learn it in 6 months, I would not go for a degree program. What I'll do is I would go for short practical online courses. Coursera, I would do that. I'll go to Coursera and I'll choose fundamental courses in finance. Why? But foundation information is very important because you cannot just jump and move like that. So you need to get the foundations right. What are the the terms that they use in the financial field. The next thing that I'll do is, if I get that knowledge right, I'm going to find people in the finance field to talk to as much as I can.
Mentors?
You can find them in LinkedIn. You don't even need to know them. You can just go and you search people on LinkedIn that have financial backgrounds, and you look at what they are talking about, and you can message people. You can, if you do this to 100 people, someone is going to respond. You write, I would write them a cold email and say, look, I'm in this field. I want to come to finance. What do you think I need to know? What are the practical advices that you can really tell me to follow? And they are experts in the field. They will give me those steps of what I need to know to kind of get better. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the best possible way of getting an internship in a financial company, because this is the window into that field. Most people feel that internships are useless or volunteering programs are useless, but that's not it. Find as much as possible a way to get an internship, because everything is about credibility. Yes. The good thing about that is when you get an internship, you can now bring the knowledge, the skills that you had from a completely different domain and try to combine them to create a new thing or to see things from a different perspective. And immediately, if you can do that, they would recognize that you're different. You're thinking a little bit differently. And after that internship, you have two options. You might either get a job offer in the same company, or you can now use that internship as experience to apply either for a second internship. You can still do the second internship, or just go directly for a job. You can get a very minimum entry job. When you want to change to a new career, be very humble, start very small. Internship is the best. If you can get that, build upon internship, and finally, you can just get a job offer from the internship. That's how I would do it.
So what if I am a student? I don't have no career for now. What if I am a student and I came to Turkey and I'm studying right now and I want to build a career. Where do I start from? Where do I start?
Okay, so let me put it that way. Let's say you came to Turkey and you're studying. What do you study, by the way, Leticia?
Finances, banking and finance.
Oh, you went for the money. That's smart.
She's the money girl.
So she went for the money. That's good.
Money comes to me. That's the contrary.
Okay. So you studied you're studying finances, and let's assume that you're like, I don't like finances anymore. I want to switch to become a data scientist, for example.
Not really switching, but I would say I want to build a career. For example, you were interested in engineering and you just from there you got the base and you just moved up and up. What if I want to build my career in a general sense? Because I want it really to be practical steps so that even if I am an engineer right now, I'm studying engineering, computer engineering or whatever, I can apply the same steps in order to not guarantee a good career, but at least make sure I stay on the path. What can I do exactly? Should I look for opportunities? Should I have internships? What do I do? Should I just go to school and come back?
Yeah, I feel like the question kind of changed a little bit because we were talking about switching careers, but now it's kind of like building career.
Yeah, build it.
Okay, so these are two different things. Yes. If you're switching, you're switching to somewhere else. But if you're building a career, now that's a different conversation, a little bit different conversation. Yes. And I think our previous conversations had already started to lay the foundations. As a student, you have the most available time you would ever have in your life. I wish I could go back. As a student, you have almost no responsibility in a way. Mm-hmm. You have the time to go. You have the time to go to school, come back, do your homework, sleep, go out with friends. You have the time to just spend your time as you want for yourself in a way.
Yeah.
A strategic student who wants to build a great career would start to put these foundations that I've already been talking about in place. A strategic student would always ask the question, what can I do differently so that when I'm finishing from school, I am already in the position that would lead me to start building my career in a way that works. Let me put it this way. When I came into the UNZP, when I got the opportunity to be a data science fellow for the UNZP in Istanbul, you don't see that. That's not common, even among students. I was still a student, but I got that opportunity. I knew for sure that that's all I needed to kickstart my career. Mm-hmm. I knew that that's the big door that just opened right there. And I saw it when Germany came calling from Istanbul. Why do they want this guy? Why are they giving me a job offer and like a $2,000 plane ticket to carry everything I need to carry to come over here, right? So why do they want me? So it's because I was doing things that other students were not doing. I'm also a Turkish government scholarship student. There are thousands of Turkish government scholarship students in Turkey. There are thousands of them. There were different things I was doing. Again, I already had my website on. I was working for, while I was being a student, I was in the, what's the name of this lab again? I was Vodafone Future Lab. I was working at the Vodafone Future Lab, and I was even getting funding from there, plus my Turkish government scholarship funding. That was good. That was an opportunity I got from my university. So I was looking for that opportunity. I was taking Coursera courses, but I was still a student. So I was still taking my courses. Does that make sense?
It does.
And again, I was building my digital footprint. While learning, I was sharing them. So as a student, you still have this beautiful time to start to put things in place. And I really wish the audience listens to me so well and do this, because other students are not doing it. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are dancing, and everyone seems to be having a great time. And my piano is taking over the world. That's fine, that's smooth, that's amazing. I love that. But my piano will not pay your bills, right? So the idea is, I believe that if you start doing these things as a student, you're already building that foundation. You are already doing that, and that's enough. Because you are a student, and you still have to do well in school.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So I think just doing this is enough as a student, because when you leave as a student, you need to start applying for either internships or jobs. I got a fellowship program and in the UNZP, and I was doing it with my school. It was an 8-hour job, by the way, basically 8 hours with my job. So I still kind of found a way to manage it. Why? Because I knew that experience would be the advantage that I have over every other master's student. And so I took it and I found a way to do it. I would come back home late. I didn't care, but I still did it.
Oh, thank you. About that too, I have a question. Do you think there is a person, a mentor back then? Do you think there was a person, a mentor, a professor, or somebody that kind of directly influenced your career path?
I think the only role model or mentor that I can always look up to and I always think about is my late grandmother, may her soul rest in peace. It wasn't a professor, wasn't a lecturer. You see, Letitia, when you come from where we come from,
yeah,
you need to understand your background. You need to understand where you come from. And so with that context, you do not operate from the same frequency like the people around you. I'm not a Turk, so I cannot come to Turkey and be behaving like a Turk. That's their home. Let me tell you my options that I knew. For example, when you come as a Turkish government scholarship student, if you don't pass the language, I think you fail 2 times, your scholarships gets taken away from you and you're shipped back home. Where do you want me to go back home to? To the war zone in my village where I'll be shot with a gun probably in 2 weeks. So I didn't need any mentor. I didn't need any motivation. Your circumstances is enough your circumstances is enough to motivate you. And if you lose that background, then you are in deep trouble. So I didn't need it. I was self-motivated.
Yeah.
And even I would be honest with you to say that my professors could see it. They saw a little bit I was different in the sense that I was doing more than everyone was doing. And I won some awards in AI, and the university was proud, and they wrote it in their website, and and it was all over there, and they were all praising. But I did those competitions and won them, even without telling any of my professors. They just saw the news, and I informed them that, oh, I won this. And they were like, oh, this is great. Everyone was just getting the information. But I was doing all of this from still internal self-motivation. That's why I always feel like if you can understand your background and where you come from, then you can know that you don't have a choice you either make it or you make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's completely no choice. At least I would say some other people can go home. I had friends who came for Turkish government scholarship. I don't know, Dr. Poso, if you had some colleagues who came and left back to their country because they couldn't survive. They went back. I have some friends in Morocco and Tunisia. They came, it was too tough. They booked their flights and left, abandoned everything. Me, I'm not abandoning anything. I'm not abandoning zero to go where. So I was operating from a completely different space than everyone else. So I didn't need a mentor. And I don't really have a mentor. The only person I always say I have a mentor for is my grandmom and my mom, and my mom and dad, because the values they taught me to understand where I come from is everything is the way I operate in the world. It doesn't matter whether I'm in Germany or in Turkey.
Yeah.
My fundamental values remain the same. I can integrate in any environment. I've been even here. Maybe I didn't mention this. When I came to the Robert Koch Institute, I was working with the World Health Organization hub in Berlin. So our was a joint project. I was working at the hub on Tuesdays, at Robert Koch Institute on Mondays to Fridays. So I've been in the highest tables. I've been with these people, but it doesn't really change who I am inside. I know well where I come from.
Yeah.
Most people I interact with were born with privilege. This is their space. I'm not even comfortable in Germany that much because you don't get comfortable. Don't get it twisted.
Ever.
You don't get comfortable. Yeah.
I see. But I have something. There's a question that just bypassed my mind. I was like, do you think your career would have been different if you stayed in Turkey?
Oh my God! Don't get me started. I spent 5 years. I spent 5 years in Turkey since 2018 when I came. I never left Turkey. I only left Turkey in April 2024. Do you know what it means to come to a country and spend 5 years, never leave? But when I left Turkey 2024, in 2 years, I have traveled to, I think, over 7 countries. I've been to South Africa, France, Belgium, Serbia. My life exponentially exploded.
Yeah.
It changed everything. It's a completely different ball game out here. Completely different ball game. Everything changed. I can't even begin to tell you how much. I can just tell you that it changed everything. Just to give you an idea, there are over how many millions of Turkish people live here in Germany. In fact, let me tell you, you might be surprised. If I go out of my apartment here, the first language I'm going to hear is Turkish. Yeah, absolutely true.
Oh.
There's a building. Parayok
That's
is what
true.
is written on the building. Here.
Jesus.
So the idea is just to tell you that don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Environments are self-constraining in their own way. I'm not saying that you cannot operate within them, but understand the power. I think I mentioned it before. Understand the power of the environment that you live in, and the best thing is you don't look at the environment and like, oh, this is bad, and then you go into that negative mindset where you would say, oh, Turkey does not provide me opportunities. They are bad people. They are racist. Oh, no, zero. That's not what you do. You understand the environment so that you can be able to find ways of operating within the environment in a way that benefits you and your career. And then when you can leave, you leave. Right? So I got the opportunity to leave and it completely changed everything. So the question on whether my life would have been absolutely, let me tell you where I know exactly where I would have been now if I was still in Turkey. I would have been in my lab in the Istanbul Technical University, sitting on my computer, trying to figure out something or run a model or an experiment and be feeling highly miserable or something like that. So I would be on campus in the lab somewhere hidden without seeing the sunlight for a while. And I would be there. I know I'll be doing my PhD and I would only focus likely on that. And that would not be very satisfying because now I'm still doing my PhD, but I get to travel and I get the flexibility to do that. And I do my research online. I have access to my computer in the lab in Istanbul Technical University. It's locked up in the lab and I can access it from here anytime and run my experiments. So I can do all of this and there's still that freedom that comes with it. So my life, oh my God, is completely different. It changed. Environments matter a lot. They really do shape. In fact, there's a phrase, I'm talking a lot, but just bear with me a little bit. There's a phrase a guy said when I was in Turkey that rang in my head all the time, which is, he said that your zip code determines your network. Your zip code determines your network. I never lose that phrase because I was in Turkey and I was like, man, you're right. Your zip code determines your network. When you change an environment, everything changes. The opportunities that open up also change. And everything changes. The welfare system, everything changes. It's difficult to explain, but Dr. Fosso knows what I'm talking about. Even the stress level changes. Some environments are just stressful.
Yes.
Right? Some environments are just stressful in itself, like just stressful. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right because like most of us international students, before choosing a country, when we are like in our home country, we're like, yeah, I just want to travel. But you don't choose the country focusing on your environment. We most often neglect the effect of your environment on the opportunities you get, the school you study in, the people you meet, your mindset. And most often we don't realize that. We just realize it when it's been 3 years, 2 years that you've been having a limited mindset because you live with limited people. You're surrounded by people who don't think that's out of the box just because you choose the wrong place.
Absolutely. And you saying that for the audience, whoever's going to watch this and those that are here, I think one thing I would just like to say is this. There's a mindset that I used that I think really got me out to be the person that I am today, which is I had told myself long ago, and I keep telling myself that no one holds the keys to my future under me. It's not my professor, it's not my supervisor, it's nobody, no one. And the reason I'm saying this to international students, because when we come over to these countries here, what happens is that we were born with, we have this inferiority mindset, which is that these people here are smarter than us in general. So you come and then you are working under a supervisor and you feel like you have to please him. It's like your entire life depends on him. It's like he has to open opportunities for you, and it can open, you can basically create a toxic, not a toxic relationship, a relationship where you can open doors of exploitation, where a supervisor is going to put so much work on you as an international student, and you would definitely or almost not have anything, feel like you don't have control over how much work you can do or should do. And before you know it, you have spent 5 years with a supervisor, sometimes in the hopes that he is going to open you doors for the future. But for me, I knew that he cannot. he might not, because his own future is not even certain in a certain way. Also, in my mind, right? So it's important. I think it's important for you to understand that you are in control, and do not completely give away control to supervisors in a way. Because from my experience, some supervisors would use international students to publish more papers in a way that stresses you. And by the time you finish, the opportunities don't even show up for you, and they don't even do anything in a sense for you. And then you realize that you have spent 5 years in the lab. Then you come out and no one cares even about the work you were doing. And you thought you were there to satisfy and meet the needs of a supervisor. The problem is, find a balance. Don't get drowned. Know that no one is gonna leave your life. That's my concept, by the way, right?
Yeah.
No one's gonna leave your life.
Definitely.
So when I make my choice, I make my choice. Yeah.
Okay, Leticia. You want to finish with Beltus today? But I think
I was concluding, I swear.
yes, we have done more than 1.5 hours, and
it's crazy.
I think this interview is scheduled to it can continue. I think even 2 hours is not enough to ask the questions of Leticia, and she didn't ask very important questions. How much money do you make by being a research assistant in Germany, and how do you compare life? Because yes, she asked it. I just want to, because she's a financial student, she studies bank and finance, and you know, bank is always interesting on how much money do you make. So this Robert Koch program, how is it organized? Are they paying you as a worker, and how much money do you make? You should not just give the real salary, but give an estimation just to show the number of money, the amount of money that you can get if you get such an opportunity. And you know, money is one of the main motivation for students to try.
100%.
Yeah, to try to say, hey, here in Turkey, I'm getting like maybe $1,000 when I'm doing all my businesses and so on. But how much money can someone get if he moves from Turkey directly to a job in Germany, for example? And what are the other opportunities that you can give to the students as information? And then I will leave Leticia to conclude with the rest of the questions.
Dr. Also, you are also here in Deutschland, so you understand. Yes, when the topic of money comes up, it's never a very comfortable one. But like you said, I'm going to strategically. It's a taboo here. We don't talk about money and salaries. Anyway, but your question is very important, and I think will be very beneficial. So, just to give you context, so Robert Koch Institute is a research institute. At the same time, it is an institute. So it's made up of scientists, it's made up of doctors, medical doctors, it's made up of epidemiologists, and we all come together with the sole purpose of ensuring that the German public health is kept in a very, it's good. Like, people do have the public health amenities that they need. So basically, we help to inform like the Ministry of Health on this, recommend things that they would have to do to order to ensure that the health of the public is all right. Anyway, it is in Germany, in general, it's very structured when it comes to payments. And it's a, for Robert Koch Institute specifically, it's a government institute. And so everything is structured. If you are recruited on to the Robert Koch Institute with a bachelor's degree, there is already a base level or salary that you would be put on. You don't negotiate this. It's already written. There's like E12, E13, there are levels. If you are taken and you have a master's degree, they would evaluate your master's degree plus your years of experience. So what happens is that if you have a master's degree, there is a base level which corresponds to a specific amount of money that they would pay you. If you have years of experience upon that, they would add some money on top of your years of experience. If you are recruited with a PhD, you have another level, which is higher. And then with as a professor, so you can see it's very structured. So you don't even get to negotiate your salary. They basically tell you that, okay, you are a bachelor's degree student. This is what you take. Years of experience, this is what you take. Mm-hmm. So I think this also applies even to the private sector. Mm-hmm. With years of experience, they add some fraction of money to your money, to what you earn. So they just keep adding some money to that. So that's how it's really structured. So in Germany, I would advise people who really love this kind of structure to look into Germany as a place to come, where you are like, okay, I have a master's degree, and the money they pay for master's degree is enough for you to live your life and go for vacations and travel. That's absolutely guaranteed here. But one thing you should know is that you are not going to be rich like the US spending dollars like that. No, it's not the kind of money, Leticia. So sorry, but it is enough.
But can you give a number? Can you give a number? Can you give a number?
Okay.
Estimation.
So let me give an estimation for. Let me give an estimation. If you have a master's degree, your base salary with a master's degree, before taxes, it's always within the range of 5,000 to 6,000 euros. That's without taxes, right?
Without taxes, before taxes.
And without social services and everything, like that's the range. If you, let me start with a bachelor's degree. Okay, I don't know, like okay, let me just keep that for now for my master's. If you have a master's degree and without taxes and social services that you have to pay, is between 5K and 6K. Euros, yeah. But mind you, Germany does take a lot of taxes and they take a lot of social benefits. So you might, at the end, what you receive in your bank account would be like 60% of that amount. Finally, that's what you take to home to spend. Sorry to disappoint you with that. It's like 60-65%. That's finally what you get. If you have a bachelor's degree, I think the net of what you could get is like between 2,300 and 2,800 as the beginning. That's net what you get.
Without taxes.
This is after taxes, like 2,000. Yeah, I think that's the, for PhDs, they go higher than this. So I'm not sure how much PhDs earn, but I know for bachelors and I kind of know for masters, right? And then with your years of experience, it keeps going up. So that's how it is. And it's enough in Germany, but not the one where you would do lots of things.
So to summarize, maybe I can put a point on that. If you get a bachelor in Turkey and you apply for a position at the Robert Koch Institute and you are being selected, your gross salary will be 4,000 euro, and they will deduct taxes about 40% and give you 60%. That will be 2,300, 2,400 euros. That is the netto. And if you have a master and you apply for the Robert Koch Institute and get a scholarship and a position because you are working, your gross salary will be like between 5,000 and 6,000 euro, and the net salary will be between 3,000 and 3,400 euros because they take 40% taxes. And if you have a PhD in Turkey and you apply for a Robert Koch Institute and you are being selected, your gross salary could be between 7,000 or more, and then you will receive, like, because they take a lot of taxes on PhD also, you will get like 3,800 of netto.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
if
a
you
very good.
convert,
Yeah,
if,
that's a.
if you convert this money in Tele, you will cry.
I feel like crying.
No, it's absolutely crazy, and that's where you see the differences. That's where you see the differences in the environment, right? And it allows you to it allows you.
That was simple to answer. You can travel. You can go to South
exactly
Africa.
like
You
I
can
can.
go to
Kind of
America.
independent.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of things. That's why I don't mind going to Turkey. I pay flights sometimes of just 50 euros, and I'm in Istanbul. That's nothing. You basically just leave from here, and I'm there in 2 to 3 hours.
But what I know there is that your education is really important, because it just keeps increasing according to your education.
Yes, yeah. That's the German system. So if you're someone who likes school here, and you really just go through your education and you get the degrees up, you would get paid here with the degrees. You would get, in the US it's different because you can be anything and anyhow thing, but Germany is very structured. They would look into your degrees very much. So if you work hard in Turkey, maybe like I did, or more than I did, you come here, they would look at this. And by the way, it's equivalent. So don't feel that. Yeah, so maybe you might be thinking it's not equivalent. It is. It is equivalent. So so you, of course, some universities, there are some selected universities that is directly equivalent. Some other universities, you might need to prove the equivalence. But there is a system that you use to get the equivalence of the German education with the Turkish education, but it's always a master's in Turkey from I think, state university, and some really known private universities. It's the same as a master's in Germany. So you don't even need to worry about that. And I think, Dr. Fosso, I think you asked the question about the opportunities in Robert Koch Institute for the audience. I think that's important.
Yes.
Right now, for example, the Center of Artificial Intelligence, where I work, is a unit under the Robert Koch Institute. What they do is that every year they take PhD students, they recruit PhD students, and what they do is that you come to Robert Koch Institute, and then you affiliate with a university, and then you do your PhD in Robert Koch Institute. You do it at the center while just being affiliated to a university here, which is really good, because most of my colleagues that I work with are PhD students, are postdoc students. And so you get the opportunity to work at the Robert Koch Institute. And I think they paid those ones like 65% of like full-term workers, because they are kind of students.
Students, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. But the money, you're still okay.
Yeah.
So I think if you really want to keep an eye for, especially for people who are interested in public health, and because most of the colleagues I have, they are not even from backgrounds like AI backgrounds. It's not AI backgrounds. They are really people. I have people from physics background, people from the medical background, but that they're kind of trying to use like AI, or trying to learn how they can use AI in those fields to help in public health research. So every year they open up the applications, and you apply and write a project, and then you get an interview. If you make it, they bring you over. I have colleagues from Nigeria. I've had colleagues from Ghana. So it's completely open. So don't think that in Nigeria, by the way, when I got recruited, a colleague of mine got recruited from Nigeria, and he flew, they paid his flight from Nigeria to here. So don't feel that Turkey is far, or it's no. It's completely, you do have those opportunities. And that's the one I really know well for Robert Koch Institute that is currently really going on. As I said, the market is not too good. So even Robert Koch Institute is not hiring as much as they used to. All right. But that is a very good opportunity. Just a quick other update I would like to say is that for those who would like to move to Germany as well, there's this thing Germany offers called the opportunity card. The opportunity card it's also online. If you just type opportunity card Germany, you can read a lot about it. It gives skilled workers the opportunity to move to Germany, even without having a contract, even without having a job, so that you can then use your skills to look for a job while you're in Germany. All right. Because when I moved to Germany, for example, I moved under the EU blue card visa, which is the professional visa, which because I already had the job. But in Germany, you do have the opportunity card for people who are already skilled and would like to just move to Germany. So you can follow up the college chance card, opportunity card. Yeah. So it can allow you to really move to Germany and then find yourself here, right? Look for opportunities. So it's something you can also explore. And for students who would like to kind of continue education here in Germany, there's this site called the Uni Assist. I don't know if I can type it, where I think it's like it's the platform that allows that it kind of helps to review applications for international students. It's Uni Assist. Just type Uni, then like assist as an assistant, yeah, Germany or something. Yeah, that's it. You can type that that platform, Uni Assist. It allows it helps to review international applications for like more than 100 universities in Germany. And so most people, what you do is you go through the system, send your applications through them, then they help to place you in the university if it meets the criteria. And then you can kind of now get like a response in terms of admissions, and then you can follow up from there. So I think I would just advise those that are interested, especially students who would like to further their education here, this can be useful for them as well. Okay.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Beltus. I don't know if Leticia has another question for you, but I think we are about
it's good.
to close.
I know we can talk the whole day, so please let's move on.
Yeah, so merci encore à Monsieur Beltus pour ce partage d'informations, ce partage d'opportunités et surtout pour ouvrir un peu les yeux des jeunes frères et sœurs qui sont encore en Turquie et qui cherchent à répondre à beaucoup de questions qui sont dans leur tête. Et merci à la brillante Laetitia Sémé pour cette interview qui a été vraiment magnifique, en anglais bien sûr, parce qu'il y a beaucoup de gens qui ne comprennent pas bien l'anglais, parce que ça c'est le pur anglais. Il faut avoir au moins le ICE avec 7 pour comprendre l'anglais de Beltus et Laetitia. Donc vraiment, c'était très enrichissant. Pour un petit mot de fin, je pense que voilà des opportunités qui sont saisissables. Déjà, ceux qui sont en Turquie qui se demandent est-ce que mon diplôme sera reconnu après mes études en Turquie? Voilà un exemple qui a fait ses études en Turquie et qui a directement migré de la Turquie pour travailler en Allemagne. Donc, son diplôme de master à l'université d'Istanbul est reconnu en Allemagne comme étant un diplôme. Et ceux qui font également les bachelors, les masters, la Turquie est bel et bien dans le système éducatif européen. Bien que chaque pays ait son système d'équivalence, parfois on peut vous demander de faire ci, faire ça, mais il est possible de migrer avec vos diplômes vers un autre pays. Et comme deuxième avantage aussi, le Robert Koch Institute est un institut de recherche. Parmi tant d'autres, il y a plusieurs exemples. Vous pouvez faire des recherches sur Internet, utiliser ChatGPT ou bien Cloud DE. Il y en a tellement de nouvelles IA qui sont très poussées et qui vous donnent des réponses vraiment précises. N'allez pas juste jouer sur TikTok, mais utilisez Internet. Vous avez la chance d'être en Turquie avec Internet rapide. Vous pouvez vous informer au maximum. Et l'information est une clé qui peut vous aider à ouvrir une porte comme celle de Beltus. Vous avez entendu les salaires qu'on paye aux chercheurs. Donc, ça peut être un avantage si vous multipliez par 50, qui est 1 euro, c'est 50 télé. Imaginez un peu combien on paye. Donc, qui touchait les télés et qui commence à toucher les euros. Donc, il y a vraiment beaucoup d'opportunités qui s'ouvrent. Et il y en a tellement. L'Allemagne n'est pas la seule destination. Vous pouvez quitter de la Turquie pour les États-Unis, par exemple, de la Turquie pour la Suisse. Il y a des chercheurs comme ça qui sont quittés de la Turquie pour la Suisse. Et il y en a qui quittent, par exemple, de la Turquie pour le Canada ou d'autres pays et qui ont vraiment un nouvel environnement et de nouveaux horizons ouverts. Et M. Beltus a parlé des frustrations que vous-même vous avez, c'est que la Turquie donne parfois l'impression d'être fermée et vous ne pouvez pas beaucoup vous déplacer, vous ne pouvez pas beaucoup voyager parce que quand vous avez le visa pour la Turquie, vous êtes uniquement en Turquie et si vous voulez vous déplacer, c'est seulement aller dans votre pays. Mais quand vous sortez de la Turquie, vous avez un nouvel horizon ouvert et c'est ça qu'il faut chercher. Comment migrer dans un meilleur environnement comme ce que Beltus a fait. Donc, je vais m'arrêter sur ces mots et je pense que je vais donner le mot à la ravissante Laetitia pour conclure et aussi à M. Beltus pour dire un mot de fin avant qu'on arrête. Et merci pour cet échange.
Merci beaucoup, Dr. Lionel. Je n'aurais pas beaucoup à dire. Je ne peux que remercier. Je ne peux que remercier tous les participants. Je ne peux que remercier tous les participants. Je ne peux que remercier M. Beltus pour son assistance, pour sa participation, pour ses conseils. Je pense que nous ne rentrons pas la tête vide. Je pense que moi, en tout cas, j'ai obtenu des réponses, j'ai appris des choses et je pense que je vais les appliquer. J'ai surtout pris conseil et je pense que c'est le cas pour tout le monde. J'aimerais particulièrement vous remercier, vous également, Dr. Lionel, de m'avoir permis de faire partie de quelque chose d'aussi magnifique. Je pense que c'est une excellente opportunité pour moi également, en tant qu'étudiante en Turquie.
Ouais.
Donc, sans pousser un peu trop loin ou sans monopoliser la parole, je pense que je vais juste remercier M. Beltus en anglais et je vais lui donner la parole pour qu'il puisse conclure. Thank you. I was saying, I think...
Peut-être il va dire le mot de fin en français.
Maybe. I wanted to thank you, Mr. Beltus, for your insights, for your participation, for everything, because I'm a student too, so I think it's an opportunity, it's a great opportunity to have insights from a person who was a student too, who experienced things too, and who is becoming and is still, and who became and is becoming. So I wanted to thank you personally, and I was also thanking Dr. Lionel for the opportunity to be here, because people usually make mistakes and waste time because of lack of information, but I was part of this, and this is going to help me avoid mistakes, and as a whole, it's going to make me grow also. And I hope, like me, others are going to take lessons and try to move forward with what you said and the insights we got from here. So without taking much time, I wanted to give you the floor if you have something to say, if you have something to say in particular, because we're concluding. You have the floor, Mr. Beltus.
Merci, Dr. Fosso. Merci, Laetitia. That's all I can say in French. But I think just having the opportunity to speak to, I think is one thing I always like. I always like to speak to people to kind of share what I learn, and really appreciate Dr. Fosso for creating such a platform. And I don't know how he connected with you, Laetitia. You are really a good interviewer. Absolutely. That's why I spent another 1 hour here speaking without even knowing we have made 2 hours of webinar, because I enjoy when people ask me challenging and interesting questions, because it gets me to think and dig deep. And for me, it's mind stimulating. So first of all, really congratulations on that. And I think you have really done your audience justice to you and Dr. Fosso, of course, to extract as much as I could give to the audience, and that I am happy, and I hope that the audience would find value in the things that I have said, even no matter how small that is. And also, I hope that they would also find hope in knowing that they are the situations that they are in, others have been in, and that there is a way forward. And anyone who quits never goes anywhere, because if you quit, it's done, right? So the idea of just always trying different things and believing that something is going to work for me, it's what I would hope everyone does. So really, thank you very much. And a quick word to you, Leticia, because I've seen that you are very good at interviewing. You are already doing something that is different from your classmates are doing. So, and then you are also really already so good at it, of course, with potential improvements. But this is already what I was talking about, doing something out of what other people are doing, and then sharing it, right? Leveraging your social media platforms to say, this is what you did, this is what we are doing. This is already you taking the initiative to do more than your classmates are doing, and it's really good. And then you can use this, and just giving you specifically advice on anyone here, to you can use this to say, these are the 5 points that we got from this interview. You put it on your website. I interviewed, this is it. You keep creating this content and mixing it up, and this is how you build your career, and anyone here can listen. So anyways, it's that's what I wanted to say. So merci again to Dr. Fotso and to you, Leticia. And thank you everybody who was able to join. Thank you for your patience. I hope this was really good for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So we will stop today.
Yes.
I don't know if the audience had a question or a specific question, but I think all the questions have been asked by Leticia. She had asked a lot of good questions, and I'm sure you have got your answers. But if anyone wanted to say something before we close, maybe Abdul Malik, Luhan, Malcolm, do you have a special thing to say, or should we stop our interview now? Malcolm, you are speaking, but we are not hearing you.
The microphone is off.
Can you open your microphone?
It looks open.
Can you open? Yeah. And maybe you can remove your ears. Maybe
the earbuds. I think it's like, yeah.
Okay, we don't get you.
No, we can't.
Can you remove from the phone and try to talk with the phone like that? Sorry.
It's fine.
It's okay. We are not getting you. Sorry. Luan and Abdul Malik, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for this valuable information. I will try to apply it from there. I'm in Turquie, so I'm trying to apply for maybe for joining in Germany. So I'm also a PhD student in computer engineering.
Wow.
So I will try.
No, that's nice. That's nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
And also, I think.
And Laurent, do you want to say something?
Bon, je n'ai pas vraiment quelque chose à dire, ni une question à poser. Et déjà, j'aimerais vraiment vous remercier pour ce webinaire, parce que ça m'a vraiment beaucoup aidé à comprendre certaines choses.
D'accord.
Donc, merci vraiment pour vous qui avez eu l'idée de mettre ce webinaire à jour.
D'accord, ça marche. Est-ce que Malcolm X a corrigé son... Malcolm spécifique. Est-ce que tu as pu corriger ou bien on arrête comme ça, Malcolm Speller?
Apparemment, non.
Ok, bon. Apparemment, non. Je pense qu'on a fini pour aujourd'hui et en disant merci une fois de plus à M. Beltus, je vous souhaite à tous une très bonne soirée et que le sourire de Laetitia vous accompagne pour toute cette semaine. Allez, portez-vous bien. Et
Au revoir.
au revoir.
Au
Et
revoir, go choose. Bye bye.
ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Super, Laetitia. Merci. Ciao.